welcome you to an edition of what was going to be Corner Conversations, but we've changed it a little bit. Reason being, we have two guests, and if you would introduce yourself.
Al Mancuso, Vice President of the
Northern Berkshire.
Northern Berkshire Retirement Club.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm Doug Greenlaw. I'm the secretary at the Northern Berkshire and Southern Vermont.
And Southern Vermont.
Yeah, that's part of the name too.
Yeah.
Northern Berkshire and Southern Vermont Retirees Club.
And such as I am, I'm Roger Urban. I'm president of the Northern Berkshire and Southern Vermont
Yes.
Retirees Club. Now, when we say Southern Vermont, we include Bennington and Point South.
I have a list. I have a list. I have a quick list of, well,
Bennington, Pownell,
yeah.
that's about all I know up there.
How
I got the
about
list.
Stanford?
Okay. It says men and women in North Adams, Williamstown, Clarksburg, Florida, Cheshire, Savoy, Monroe, Bridge, Mass., as well as Pownell, Stanford, Reedsboro, and Bennington.
There we go.
So anybody that lives in Stanford, Reedsboro, Pownell, you're welcome to come down and
Right.
check out the club.
We meet once a month, Retirees Club of the aforesaid areas. We usually meet on a
Thursday.
Thursday.
First Thursday of the month.
Yeah, first Thursday of the month is when we try to get together. You're welcome to try, if you have any interest in joining this organization, the Retirees Club, you're welcome to just show up at one of our meetings.
At the Mary Spitzer Center.
See what it's all about. We're holding our meetings at the Spitzer Center at, I don't know the address, but
Yeah, I got it. I'm the secretary. I have to know these things. It's 116 Ashland Street, North
116 Ashland Street,
It's like
North
across from
Adams.
It's by the high rise, a little building to the left.
Yeah.
Sort of across from the Greylock Federal Credit Union.
Right. Our membership is open to male and female alike. You're more than welcome to sit in for a meeting and see if it suits you, to see if you'd like to keep coming and become a full-time member. We put no pressure on our membership or no pressure on people who are checking us out to join. It's up to you if you want to, and if you want to, great. If you don't want to, that's fine too.
They're welcome.
Yeah.
Totally come down. You don't have to be a member to come down and check it out.
That's right.
It's a great bunch of people.
It is, and we have coffee, donuts there, and other pastries, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Those are free.
yeah, and, we have a guest speaker. Every once in a while, we'll have a guest speaker. The last time we had the ambulance service talk to us and give us, some handouts of importance. One was where you list all your medications and stuff, and it's on a magnet. You put it on the side of your refrigerator. So if you can't speak for yourself, the EMTs can take it. And we usually write it in pencil because, medicines change, things change. So that was a very interesting talk that they gave.
And that sheet works. Recently, unfortunately, my wife had a stroke. I recognized what it was, but I couldn't, for the life of me, start rattling off everything she was taking. Just grabbed that off the refrigerator, and off we went.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, that was a good thing.
Yep.
The other thing that we do have is a drawing. Our annual dues are how much?
$15.
$15
a year.
Not 50, 15.
50.
That's right.
Yeah,
A lot of clubs are over 50.
But like he said, we usually have a raffle. You pay $2, and there's a money raffle and also scratch tickets.
Yeah.
So it's enjoyable. And we usually have social events. We just finished our Christmas or holiday party. We had it at the Boston, and the meal was good. and the people were there. We had a nice time. It was very enjoyable, and it was very
Yeah.
nice.
When we have those functions, they're open to the spouses.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's kind of a little family affair when you think
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
you know? Pardon me, I got a tickle in my throat here.
Speaking of membership, it's basically for people over 60 in their retirement age. I think because of the club rules, somebody told me they had to have a minimum age on it.
Yeah.
60.
It is a nonprofit organization, but
Yeah. You have to be 60, at least. You don't have to be retired, but most of the people there are, so.
and if you're over 60 and still working, you can still be a member.
Oh,
of
yeah.
the club.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
As long as you reach,
definitely
reach
looking.
this age of 60, it's, you can join.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking for members.
Yeah. And we do 3 socials in a year. We do a holiday party, we do a spring thing, and we have our clam bake. I don't say clam bake, but
That's
picnic.
good.
We'll say picnic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picnic, that's usually in August, and it's a nice time there too. And
Yeah, it's a
people
lot of
go
fun.
there. Yeah, they play cards and have different games, horseshoes, whatever they have.
When we have those functions, they're usually open to spouses,
Also
you
correct.
know, or close family member or significant other, whatever you want to call them,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be open for you.
Just, come down and take a look at it. If you like it, okay. It's, up to you, but it is a nice club. People get together. It really is.
It is. There's it's a no pressure organization.
Yeah, and everybody's like friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
No pressure whatsoever.
I've never seen an argument.
No, or
Not yet,
friendly.
anyway. No.
Well, you've
I
been in the
agree.
club quite a while.
Huh?
You've been in the club quite a while now.
Not that long, believe it or not.
Really?
No.
I've been about 4 or 5 years, maybe.
Maybe 5 years.
Yeah, when I came in, yeah.
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 But the club itself is more than 5 years old. It's
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like 30 or
One time they used to meet at the Notre Dame church in the basement. They had over 200 members then.
Yeah.
wow.
But no, that was another time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a well-established club.
I
Run
think.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you come by and you might really like what you see, and it's open for you. You can sit in, take in all of the meeting, have a refreshment. Hell, we'll even let you join the raffle, I guess, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah.
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 And
Sometimes when we don't have a guest speaker, we have a lot of veterans there, and they'll talk about their experiences as a veteran, and it's nice. We usually get together sometimes too to talk about the old days in North Adams and what they remember when they were a child and
Right,
things. And
right.
I remember I used to go to Johnson School, which was right across the street from where I lived.
Yeah.
And they used to have school sports. Of course, we had Houghton, Brayton, Mark Hopkins, Johnson, and Freeman at that time. And there was a lot of activities that the schools did for us. We used to have physical training, or whatever you want to call it. We used to have touch football and different things they did at the schools. And we also, when we competed through the schools, they have touch football, basketball, and a baseball. And I can remember Johnson School was competing for the championship touch football game for the city championship, and we lost by a safety, 2 points.
Yeah.
I currently living back in North Adams, but when I grew up, after the 3rd grade, my family moved to Adams. But we were North Adams residents up until then, and I went to Houghton School. And Houghton School every spring would have what they called a field day. And we would go up to Kent Park,
Yeah.
and they had refreshments there, you know, games
Yes.
and what have you, you name it. And I thought that was wonderful. Now, I went into the Navy after that, when I was, after college. And I went into Officer Candidate School, which this was for the Navy Air Division. Now, that it wasn't run by Navy chiefs, it was run by Marines, Marine drill sergeants.
Yeah.
And they let you know what the difference is real quick. And I'll never forget the first time our drill sergeant came up into our barracks that I saw him. I was told it was for a field day. And I said, hey, great, a field day. Yeah, it doesn't mean the same thing. That meant that you had to get all your gear out, clean it, polish it, do whatever you had to do with it, put it back in an orderly manner, get dressed up in whatever uniform of the day was, and be ready to be inspected by the drill sergeant or someone else that might come along with them. So that was the final interpretation I had of field day.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't quite the same.
Yeah, we had the same thing at Johnson. We used to go to Nose Field at the end of the school year,
Yeah.
and they gave you a card with little tickets on it. You get a hot dog, a hamburger, ice cream, whatever it was, and they would compete for different prizes. Like, I don't remember. I think it were bicycles. I never won one, so I couldn't tell you, but there were bicycles. The city police donated it or something like that. But yeah, and
It was a lot of fun, and you know.
yeah, it was.
But my interpretation got changed real quick. No more field day.
Yeah.
But getting back to the club, we have a pretty wide variety of members, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's had somewhat different life experiences. Some of us are veterans, some aren't. Some are more aligned with local things,
Yeah.
and others have other interests. It's a good group. It's a pretty diverse
pretty good.
group. So,
Yeah.
please, if you're at all interested and you're the right age category, drop by. It won't cost you anything. We'll even give you a cup of coffee
And a donut.
and a donut if we remember to bring them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's open both to male and female.
And I remember the early, when we were at the Greylock Club, a lot of guys would get in there and early, and they would play cards.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a good time for them. And then we'd have the meeting, and whoever guest speaker we had. I mean, one time we had somebody from the airport and talk about the things they were doing. And we had a gentleman, I forget his name, that would talk about the health of seniors, what they could do, and safety.
Yeah.
You know, don't have scattered rugs, or you know, make sure you got a railing here. It was very interesting and informative.
I think we really do try to have good speakers.
Yeah.
I believe our next speaker for our next meeting will be a gentleman you know, probably all know, and I don't know if he's here or not, Mr. Fabiano.
Oh, Dave's coming over.
Yeah.
So he will be talking to us about the TV station, what it means to be the boss down to the TV station. He just walked by. And that is I think an interesting show to be able to see. I mean, we all tune in at times to this network, and the programming, I think, is pretty good for a little town like North Adams.
Yeah. You do your own show, right, Raj?
Which show would that be?
Corner.
Corner Conversations?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I do that with Mr. Paul W. Marino, Esquire.
He's an Esquire.
No. Not even a squire.
Yeah.
Right, Paul? Yeah, right. I don't know what he just
He's
said.
helping direct today.
Yeah, but he said something. I think.
You know, speaking of station too, anybody watching this, they can come down and check the station out. They're really friendly here, and they'll give you a tour, and you want to do your own show. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost us anything. But it probably costs the station something.
Just time and energy and a lot of preparation if you can do it.
Yeah, and there's this is pretty state-of-the-art equipment, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
really. Right now, they're located where the old Shapiro used to be.
Yeah,
It used to be Shapiro Chevrolet.
I think it was.
In fact,
at
up
one
there it
time.
says Chevy truck still.
Yeah.
You still get a sign from when they see the.
Yeah.
And that's on Canal Street? Is this Canal Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, they started off by, I'm going to say near the city hall, in that
Yeah, they were
area
in
there.
there.
There was where the old, I don't know, if they
Between the
have
city
the
hall.
museum was or something like
Yes.
that. That's where they started off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't
These
know.
studios are quite nice,
They
really.
just moved here a few years ago, which is a lot bigger facilities. And they have all new equipment, it seems.
Isn't there a radio station?
Yeah, they have a
Station
radio
Yeah.
station here
Yeah.
too.
FM.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to come down, that's free to do too if they got.
I'm so disappointed, and I say it right up front, up front with the local radio station WMNB. I don't mind them going all country. I don't mind country music, but if you listen to it, it's the same records over
Yeah.
and over
yeah.
and over. Every day is the same.
Yeah.
I want to go down and say, how much money do you need to buy some new discs or whatever you use?
I remember the days when they, before television, they used to have the Lone Ranger, the
Yep.
Shadow,
Yeah.
the Green Horton, Liberace was on there, to name
yeah.
a few. Yeah. We had an old Zenith radio in our house, and that was a big night for me. After we had a big garden, and after we'd get all that work done, the kids would get up. My mom would make a big bowl of popcorn and pink lemonade. I thought it was a feast.
Yeah.
I remember before TV,
Yeah.
before TV, before my bedtime, I would come out and my father would turn, we had these great, the radios they had.
Yeah. There were, yes.
Monsters. He would tune it into whatever station that they listened to. Probably started with the news and what have you. This was during the war, so there was a lot of war news and what was going on. And then they had Fibber McGee and Molly, and all those other shows.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. And those days you had to use your
Oh,
imagination.
yeah. And I think it helped develop people better. Like they started to use this thing.
In fact, there's a story that I think it was in Chicago. It was the first appearance of the Lone Ranger on the stage, and when he came out, people booed him because no, that's not what I had in my
Yeah,
mind.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not
Yeah.
a Red Rider.
Yeah.
And my great grandfather from Italy. Remember the Hapalonga Casadice? Hapalonga Casadice.
Yeah, I had an uncle once that he loved Western. He was from Italy. In fact, he fought in World War I, and he loved Westerns. I said, he would have loved, because some stations they just have the Westerns on, and he would have loved that kind of thing.
It was amazing.
And I remember when they used to, speaking of radio station, when they used to broadcast the news, I think it was at 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and I had Dick Brown. And Dick Brown was a guy that had, let's say, had a lot of trouble with reading things. And everybody would turn in, not mostly for the news, but see what he was going to say or do.
And they had programs for school kids here in North Adams.
Yeah.
They would take like one school and they would bring a certain number of people and you go down to the station and boy, we all thought that was just something fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to be on radio.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Then they had one of I think he was from North Adams State, would come and he did a show on I think it was Flag, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
think it was-
No, I don't remember it.
Yeah, I think it was Dr. Flagg. This was before he was a doctor. And he had a show on for art,
Oh,
different kinds of art, you know.
I don't remember. But I remember Saturdays, they used to have kid shows on, you
Yeah.
know.
And they had shows they broadcast to the schools.
Yeah, and I'm going to say they had amateur hour for the kids too. They could sing. And,
Oh, yeah.
In fact, who the heck had a variety show too? He would sing and play the piano. Was Mr. Cook? Carl Cook had a show. He'd play the piano and he'd sing. And this was before the war, but I knew Carl very well, and I never heard it because it was before my time. But he would tell us how he would go to the radio station and play. I forget. He told me what the name of it was, but I don't remember. But yeah, and they did a lot of local things. The local station, you know, they cover this event or cover that event. It was nice.
And I used to get, when I was a little guy, I was allowed to stand, lay down on the floor in the parlor. And we had a stove in there and kept you nice and warm, you know, in the winter. And I remember Fibber McGee and Molly,
Yeah.
and the Great Gildersleeve.
Oh yeah.
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 And The Shadow, that scared me.
Yes,
Shadow.
and Lights Out was another one. Lights Out, that was another one. The Great Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
Throckmorton
Right.
had that name, yeah.
Yeah.
God, we are old, you know.
Well, a lot of when the kids were growing, a lot of the shows that were on TV, like Father Knows Best, Gunsmoke, that were on TV before were on radio.
That's right.
And Gunsmoke was another Western
Yeah.
that you watch or you listen to. They were good
In
times.
some ways, that was great because you had to use your imagination. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, you
Yeah.
did. Yeah, you
And I
did.
think the people got more, their minds got more developed in those days.
Yeah, Sergeant Preston of the Yukon. He was
Yeah.
a Mountie and had his dog named King.
Yeah.
And I can always remember him saying, after, okay, King, this case is closed. And that's how we would remember. And then they had a promotion one time. I don't know if it was radio or TV where you send so many cereal boxes and you get
Right.
a deed of the Yukon. It was 1 square inch of the Yukon. It was your deed, 1 square inch. But after 1 year, it was null and void.
Right, yeah.
But you know, it was like you know, those promotional, like Ovaltine had those decoder rings
Yeah.
for was
Yeah.
it Captain Midnight or whatever that show was. Yeah.
Good old days.
And the code was, don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah,
That's what
basically,
the code
yeah.
is.
Yeah, it
was on that
you know,
Christmas
if you
story.
think about it, I think it helped kids more when there was no TV
yeah,
and just radio.
yes.
Because this had to go on in your mind. You had
Yeah.
to realize,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
had to think of, what did the Yukon look like? You know?
Oh, I know, it's probably all rough. And,
Yeah.
and then they also would go to Dawson. That was the big
Yeah.
main place, Dawson.
So, you know, I mean, you really had to use your head, you know? So I think that was a good thing. And then the comedy shows, my mom and dad used to like those. Amos and Andy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, well, you won't do
wouldn't
that
get that
today.
now,
Yeah,
but-
not today, no. Yeah, and another show that moved to TV after a while.
Yeah.
And the thing was, you know, that were played by 2 white guys.
Yes.
It's, you know, and that won't fly today.
No,
Just like Charlie Chan in the movies. Charlie Chan were white performers because I don't know, they had some kind of thing which wouldn't allow you to be. You couldn't hire minorities, or I don't know what the story was, but I know. In fact, I just read an article on the Good Earth, the movie that was was set in China,
Yeah.
and all the actors and were all white Caucasians made up to.
Right.
Yeah, so you know those were the.
Well, anyhow, we got off the subject of the club,
Well,
but that's okay.
I think we covered a lot.
We covered
though.
a lot of the club.
We
That's right.
did. We did
So
cover a lot.
we'll make a last time pledge. What day is it on?
Tuesday.
meeting?
Thursday.
Thursday.
The first Thursday of the month.
Will be on February 2nd,
First
Yep.
Thursday of the month at
10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the Spitzer Center.
center.
So come on by, just to see if you'll like it. We won't charge you a thing for walking in the door and sitting down with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And if you want to get in the raffles, it
Oh,
only
yeah,
costs you
we'd
$2.
let you do that too. The only
What
thing
can you
can't
buy
do-
for $2?
That's right. The only thing you can't do until you're a member is vote.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
But we'd love to see you, male or female. Remember, you don't have to be a man to join.
Sometimes we have a joke of the day too.
Yeah,
Always, yes, come down, come
it's a
down.
it's a good group.
It is.
We do have special events. We do have a picnic every year.
We have the picnic in August at the Greylock Club. That's very,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's very, because you can play cards, horseshoes. So one year we had a putting contest, you know, you win something if you get it into the cup or whatever we had out behind the shed there.
Then we have our winter party.
Yeah.
We
Wh-
call
which-
it a Christmas party, but it's really
Well, yeah, it's the
Holiday.
winter
open.
season,
Yeah,
holiday, whatever.
holiday season.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, then we have our spring fling, which, you know, is something we're going to be discussing on the next meeting.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it. Those three
Yeah.
main events there.
So we're coming down to the wire here. We certainly would love to see you at our meeting. Again, it's wide open. Come and see it. See if it's your cup of tea. If it is, great. You can join. If not, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Nothing lost, nothing gained.
Come down and you might know people there already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna make friends. I mean, friends that I make, like you know, Larry and you and Ed when he was active there.
Yeah.
Ed, Williams, Roberts,
Yeah.
all those guys, which I'd never known before. Well, Chucky, our treasurer, I know from high school, so I knew him a long time. Oh, St. Joe, yeah.
Well, you've been out of high school, what, 10, 20 years?
Yeah. Yeah, how about since 1965?
That was a joke of the year.
Yeah, time
Well,
goes by.
I predate that, guys.
Eh,
My high school graduation, it was 59.
yeah, wow.
But college was 64.
Mm-hmm.
And then Uncle Sam had me for 8 years.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, thanks for your service.
yes,
No,
appreciate
And
that.
we're down to 8 seconds.
In fact,
7?
in fact, if I ever see a guy with a hat on, I always thank him for his service.
nice
Well-
to hear.
Goodbye. We're done. Oh, stand by.
Hey.